Good morning, students. Hope you all of you are very well. Today we'll be starting about the biochemistry unit 1 chapter 1. The first chapter is known as the biomolecules. Students, you know biomolecules means what? Bio means biological and molecule means some atomic structure. That means the substance or the molecules which are present in our body is known as the biomolecules. Because biochemistry deals with the chemistry or the chemical structure from the biological system. So what are biomolecules? Coming to the definition, organic compounds made by living things. That means the organic compounds which are made by the living things. They are also called biochemicals also. Some are very large like the proteins, lipids, carbohydrates. They are having the larger structure. But there are thousands of different biomolecules, but they are specially separated into 4 categories. So what are the 4 categories? See, the structure: carbohydrate, lipid, protein and nucleic acid. These are the basic 4 biomolecules which is present in our body as well as required throughout the life for the well-being of our different body system, right? So first biomolecule, that is a carbohydrate which is containing carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So all the biomolecules specially composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, because all over the world, throughout the world, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, these are the compound which is forming the all the structures. So the word carbohydrate comes from the fact that this compound have many carbon atoms bonded to hydroxide groups. That means OH groups. So the two main function of carbohydrate, what are the functions they are playing? Source of chemical energy for cells in many living things, because without carbohydrate we cannot get the energy. When we feel hungry, we could take the glucose or the rice or the rotis like this, and they are degraded in our body and gives the energy in the form of ATP, and they are the part of structure for the material of plants also. So carbohydrate plays the body structure of the plant, which is taken by different animals and human beings, and these animals as well as the plant products we get for our food. So we get carbohydrate directly and indirectly. So came in all sizes, from small things, small rings to long chains. Like the glucose, from the photosynthesis, you know that the first molecule, that is the glucose, is small unit. But the larger unit like the starch, polysaccharide, they are the long chains. So type of carbohydrate classified into 2 categories: simple carbohydrate and the complex carbohydrate. The simple carbohydrate is the sugar or the glucose, but the complex carbohydrate are starch and cellulose. The sugar, what is sugar or the glucose? So they are the glucose, single glucose unit. Okay, so the breakdown quickly in the body and provide a quick burst of energy for a sugar rush. Glucose is the most important and simple sugar on earth. So it is used in cells and created by photosynthesis, and it comes in many forms like the glucose, fructose, ketose, monos, lactose. These are the compounds. See glucose structure you can see here. See CH2H, O, HOH, HOH. These are the alternate hydrogen oxide and CH2H. There is a polyhydroxy containing compound, but especially the aldehyde group CHO and C double bond O will be the main functional group for the sugars or the carbohydrate. Now coming to the next part. Example of simple sugar are glucose, fructose and sucrose. Whereas glucose containing CHO, that is the aldehyde group. Fructose, which is 5-membered, and it is containing 5-membered, not 6-membered, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where it is known as the keto group, fructose. But sucrose, this is a dicarbohydrate or disaccharide, where 2 glucose or fructose units are joined together to form sucrose. So 1 glucose unit and 1 fructose unit will be joined together to form the sucrose, that is the simple sugar. Starch. Now coming to the starch, that is the complex structure. So long chain of simple sugar joined together, and they big molecules are called macromolecules. Like the starch, rice, these are. These are also called the polysaccharide or polymers. They slower to break down in the body and provide energy for a longer period of time than regular sugars. So that means if we take rice for a longer period of time, they are giving energy for a longer time. So starch, see the structure. This is a long chain of amylase and amylopectin, and whenever they broken down into smaller fragments, they give the glucose and they provide the energy. Okay. Okay. Next, going to the next slide. Sometimes the slide is not working. See the starch examples: potato, wheat, corn. These are the starch. Now coming to the cellulose, that is the unlike animal cells, plant cells have a cell wall made of cellulose. So this cell wall is large part of vegetables such as lettuce, celery. That means the outer side of the plant fruits. The stem is composed of cellulose. So made from chains of thousands of glucose molecules. But the difference in how they are linked. That will be discussed later on. Because of the small difference, your body cannot digest cellulose the same way it can starch and glucose. So the cellulose is broken down some of the enzyme that is present in the animal body, but we cellulose cannot digest it. Next, going to the lipids, that is the fats, or saturated or unsaturated fat, that is providing more energy for our body. Lipid is very essential for our body because it provides the protein layer, protein structure, and it provides the energy for a longer time. Next, lipid fats. See the structure lipid. It's a long chain of carbohydrate. See, and the COOH, and hydroxy groups are present, and CH2 long chain is present, and there may be some saturation and unsaturation here. C11OH. I can show you C11CH. So this type of double bonds can be present anywhere, which contains the forms the saturated or unsaturated structures. So lipid includes fats and oils. So that means most lipids are just of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. But their structural similarity is different. Structural is dissimilar with the carbohydrate. And but lipids are made of just not only carbon, hydrogen, they are containing what the COOH group. Carboxylic acid group is present. Okay, so but unlike carbohydrate, fats are more complex and take much longer time to break down. So fats are high energy molecules that plant and animals use to store energy to reserve for longer periods. That means glucose and some of the starch, they are converted to lipids or adipose. They are converted to some fat materials which is stored in the adipose tissue. As a result, it is making energy for a longer time. So 1 gram of glucose providing the 4.1 kilocalorie, but 1 gram of lipid provides the 9.1 kilocalorie energy. That means double. Okay. Next, lipid fats. Plants store energy in oils like olive oil, corn oil, peanut oil. That means they are converted to oil in our plant body and storing the energy for a longer time. And oil is a fat that is liquid at room temperature. But whenever the oil becomes fat in animal body, they are known as the solid fat. Okay, but oil, that is the vegetable sources, that is liquid at room temperature, but the solid fat which is solid in natural room temperature, they are animal sources. See, fats and oils are stored super efficiently. 1 gram of fat contains about twice the energy of 1 gram of carbohydrate that I have already discussed. So a fat molecule containing two parts of the structure. First is one glycerol backbone is there, and one, see the glycerol backbone here. See hydroxy group is there. Fats and acids, where the first part is called the glycerol, attached to the glycerol, and a long chain of fatty acid where alkyl groups are joined together. Okay, CH2, CH, double bond CH like this. So clear? The fat is having two parts, glycerol backbone and fatty acid. Next, saturated and unsaturated. That is very important for us. Saturated fat means only single bonds in the carbon chain. Most animal fats, they are saturated. That means they do not contain any double bond. They are animal fats. They are bad fats. That means they are high density lipid, HDL. So the high density lipid is very bad for our body. Sorry, low density lipid, they are very bad because they mix a layer of lipid in the artery or the vessel. As a result, atherosclerosis occurs, hypertension occurs, and stroke occurs. So diets high in saturated fat are linked to heart disease. That's why they can produce stroke, heart attack like this. Now coming to the unsaturated fat, that is generally derived from the vegetable sources. One or more double bonds may be present. So as a result, they are liquid in nature and they do not produce any bad effects. They are the good fats. That's why you can see in the advertisement polyunsaturated fatty acid, PUFA, PUFA. That's are containing unsaturation. So they are not bad for our body, and that's why mustard oil is inhibited. Next fat example, you can see the saturated fat, the chicken burger, sandwich, this type of things are containing saturated fat, which is junk food, which is not required for our body, which is very bad because if you continue to take the saturated for a junk food, it makes cholesterol high and BP high, and it results into the consumption of different lipids. As a result, atherosclerosis, strokes are occurring. Unsaturated fat, that is like the avocado, salmon fish, almond, and different nuts. These are unsaturated fats. That's a good for our body. So coming to the cholesterol is another lipid in the cell membrane. It is also needed to make hormones like adrenaline, noradrenaline. Cholesterol is a converted form of lipid. That's why they are very important. Your body makes the cholesterol that it needs, but it also found in many foods that comes from animals like the meat and eggs. So also you need cholesterol. Eating too much, it can block the arteries and lead to heart attack. Cholesterol is required for our body for the formation of hormones, but it's not required in a much amount because if it is much or higher, its consumption is high, then it can produce different trouble to our body also. So up to this, I'm completing here. In the next class, I will be discussing the protein. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.